Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. What is up, everybody? It's your boy Jeff Holiday, the whitest YouTuber with the biggest, blackest fucking dick. I hope everybody is feeling fucking phenomenal out there. We're coming to you live through the power of the internet. Let's just jump into it. I'm hanging out with Anti-Sleeper and Saelon, two of my good buddies. How you doing, guys?
Hey, doing well.
Yeah.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, and so every now and then, I like to drag these two in to do cringe streams with me. Wait, what was the worst one we watched last time we did this?
That would be Zarna Joshi is what we did last time.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a while ago that we did the two-parter.
The four-parter. It was 4.
It was a lot, yeah.
We had to do 2 separate streams because we watched so much Zarna Joshi.
Yep, we went through all of her the internalized depression series.
Yeah, dude, that was amazing. That was some legendary shit. So that intro song was by Byro from Galactic Bubble Productions. He's fucking amazing. He also, he's the brainchild behind the Baby Pickles. That's my band that I care the most about. I mean, Korn is just my side gig, but Baby Pickles is where it's at, dude. That's the best shit on the planet. And also, Anti-Sleeper's channel's in the description. Saelon, you still haven't made any videos yet, have you?
Not
in a while.
I made one, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna get him back into YouTube at some point.
We have to. We have to. I know you don't have a very high tolerance for cringe, which is why I like subjecting you to this shit, but you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. We got a lot of fun shit to do today. The reason for this stream is actually very simple. I fucked up really bad. I totally screwed up my recording for the video that was going to be done today, and I got so pissed off that now I need to blow off some stream with some stupid bullshit. And we got some, dude. I can't believe the timing on that you found that our friend Riley made a video today.
Yeah.
And we're gonna watch it.
I haven't watched it yet. I don't know what the content of it is, just going by the title.
We're gonna take that journey together.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. But first,
frankly, I was shocked to hear that Jeff Holiday, the professional, had ever made a mistake.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I never make mistakes.
Really, your production quality is just so high, and something went wrong.
I know, that's insanity. How could that be?
That's so strange.
Oh my god. Also, I wanted to make mention, this is actually officially my first stream back on the main channel. I did my time.
Woo!
3 months.
Round of applause.
3 months. And you know what's really funny too? So the reason why I got my strike was because I did a stream about Riley Dennis.
Oh, well, I'm glad this is going to be the only stream for like another 3 months still. So
Round 2, here we go.
At least we're together, right? That's all that matters.
Togetherness, it's important.
Yes, togetherness. So let's start off with our good old friend. Let's start off with our good old friend Kirk. Good old friend Kirk. Where are you at? My shit is so fucking off the wall today. There we go. Let's watch a video by Kirk Cameron. This is about what fucking hurricane was it? There was like fucking 5 major hurricanes
Irma,
this year.
maybe?
I think it was about Irma. Yeah.
Or Harvey. Probably one of those.
Yeah, I think it's in Florida, so it was probably Irma. But yeah, let's check this out.
But how should we look at 2 giant hurricanes coming back to back like this? Should we just do we write them off as coincidence? Do we write it off as a statistical anomaly? Wow, who would have thought? Is it just Mother Nature in a bad mood?
No, it's just God in a bad mood. That makes so much more sense.
God's pissed.
It can't possibly be because it's hurricane season. It has to be there's a God that hates us.
Yeah, absolutely. That has to be why. Jesus fucking Christ. I think we had the same amount of hurricanes back in like I think it was like 2014 or something. It wasn't that long ago.
I don't know how you think about it, but I think it could be something much more than all of that. I'm going to look here in God's word and read to you from Job. In Job 37.
Job predicted the hurricanes. Yeah. Historically, what was the deal about Job? Wasn't Job the one that God basically tortured the shit out of?
Yeah. So, in order to prove to Satan that Job was loyal, God subjected Job to just disaster after disaster, ruining his livelihood, killing off his family.
Right.
And the deal was that Job would remain pious. And then, as his reward, God gave him like a new family.
So let me get this straight. So, an abuse victim with Stockholm syndrome from 2,000 years ago is going to tell us all about hurricanes. Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, it's science.
Christian science.
God says through Job, he saturates clouds with moisture. He scatters his lightning through them. They swirl about, turning around and around at his direction.
It's called rain.
It sounds like 80s pop lyrics. I'm just saying. What the fuck? It sounds like something from Dead or Alive. Or Dead Alive. The band Dead Alive. I always want to say the...
No, Dead or Alive. The volleyball?
No. They turn round and round.
Everything that he commands them over the surface of the inhabited world. He causes this to happen for punishment or to water his land and demonstrate his faithful love. One thing we know about hurricanes and all weather is that this is not Mother Nature in a bad mood. This is a spectacular display of God's immense power.
Oh.
Nothing says great love by wanton destruction and killing of innocent people.
Right?
Nothing says I love you like let me fuck up everything you own.
You know, when I start talking about people like Kirk Cameron, we have actually another religious one as well. It always drives me crazy. The reason why I get so pissed off at Kirk Cameron isn't just because he's saying a bunch of ignorant ass shit. There's lots of people who say some ignorant ass shit. The problem that I have with it is, like, I have a lot of Christian friends, and they're cool, chill people, but this dude makes Christians look like fucking assholes. And there are a lot of Christian assholes, don't get me wrong, but, like, that's so shitty. That's just fucking weird, man.
And when he puts his power on display, it's never without reason.
Zip up your pants, God.
There's a purpose. And we may not always...
Your power's hanging out again.
But we know it's not random. And we know that weather is sent to cause us to respond to God in humility, awe, and repentance.
You'd think that an almighty God, like the creator of the universe,
right,
could do a bit more to demonstrate his power than weather. I mean, based on what we know about the universe, like a hurricane, it's very damaging,
right?
But it is not an ultimate display of power. You'd think it was an ultimate display of power if you lived like 3,000 years ago.
Right.
Then I would understand if you thought this is of the gods. But we know more about the universe now. It's devastating.
Sure.
It's not what I would expect an omnipotent being
And
to demonstrate his power. He throws harsh winds.
and like another thing is, we know how weather is formed. I'd think a god would want to show off his power, like make unicorns rain from the sky, you know, make something happen that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like a Dio concert or something that makes you go like, whoa, you know? And like
Hurricanes. Oh, go on.
It's so the idea that God sends a message through the weather doesn't make any fucking sense to me, because that's just intentionally trying to confuse people. And I don't believe, if there's a God out there, I don't think God would be so cryptic, like a 14-year-old writing in his live journal about, you know, his feelings and shit, by sending like weird hectic weather and lashing out petulantly. I think if God was really that concerned, he's like, hey, I think you're fucking up. He texts you. You know?
I think God consistently has this problem with communication, because God must think he's being really clear, but he has a real hard time expressing himself because he keeps doing it in really shitty ways. A rainbow does not communicate anything to me. Hurricanes do not communicate anything to me. Just send me a text.
Right.
Like, be explicit about it. Go.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, a text on the.
Oh, no.
I would,
Uh-oh. You roboted like a motherfucker, Saelon.
Yeah. Is that
Right.
okay? So that's on Saelon's end.
Yeah.
Saelon, you're roboting on us.
No!
You still there? Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Sorry. I was just saying, if God sends me a text on my phone that doesn't have a plan, I'd start believing.
There you go. There you go. Hey, handy suggestions for God. You know what we should do? I mean, well, I don't know. I don't know if I could trust enough people that wouldn't just be shitty and like just try and bash Christians or something like that. But it would be kind of funny to do one of those douchey collab videos that we've all done. We've all done them. You know, like blank and blank questions for blank and blank. YouTuber suggestions for God. Like, dude, just text. Really,
we should absolutely do that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
that would actually be probably a whole lot of fun. We'll have to be clever as to not like totally piss everybody off. Well, maybe that'd be fun too.
Why would we not want to piss everyone off?
I don't know.
Everyone off.
Dude, I'm such a big fucking softie these days. It's fucking weird. I don't know. I need to find something that actually makes me mad.
You in chat, you listening to me right now? Fuck you.
Oh man. Oh. This wine is amazing. That's really good.
One more point on the hurricane video. I don't know if we're gonna move on from Kirk here in a second, but after the Great Flood, wasn't God going to lay off the whole destroying shit with rain after that? Wasn't that what the rainbow symbolized?
Mm-hmm.
So why is he taking that back up? Why does the omnipotent, all-knowing God not only have such a hard time communicating, but he flip-flops a lot?
You're on a slippery slope right now, God.
I think you have some consistency issues. Just stick with something. Come on.
Right. Yeah, no, it's fucking weird.
Go.
The vast majority of the time that I hear these types of things too, and I think this is probably the case for Kirk. I don't think Kirk actually believes any of this shit. I really don't. I know he's faithful. And I know he's all about the Jesus and all that kind of shit. But I honestly think a lot of this is simply politics because we know the dude is a straight up climate change denier. Like, we know. What's the most convenient excuse you can have to be like, well, there's no man-made changes to the environment? God
is often a convenient excuse. God's a convenient excuse for a lot of things.
A lot of people die because of in the name of a god. So yeah, you know, it's crazy. If there's a god out there, I don't think he has a hand in the weather. That's just my main 2 cents on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he cares. No, he's like, it's raining again. Shit. Okay. Let's see. What do we want to do next? Oh my god. Oh, I guess I should probably do these StreamLabs and Super Chats. Emma Quay says, hey Jeff, I can't stay for long because I'm having an awful day at work. I'm sorry, Emma. And I need you to tell me to quit my god-awful job. No, unless you got something else lined up, don't quit your fucking job. Real everyday. Jeff, are you ever going to tell Leroy's backstory of being a mold of Steve Shive's rectum?
Oh my god.
I'll write a sonnet about it, man. How's that? I'll write an epic tale. Also, please DM me so I can share a super secret video with you about Sophane that you inspired. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll try and do that later. Spicy. I like him all them secretive bants about my buddies. Benjamin 2000 Miracle Mineral Solution. Look it up, Jeff. It's people thinking bleach is a drug or something, taking it like an enema. You're new here. I've already done that. I've done an entire video on it. That's some horrible shit.
That was a tough video to watch. That was a
Mhm.
while ago. I remember that.
Yeah, I've been thinking I need to revisit some of the really fucked up pseudoscience stuff that I've come across before in the past, just because it needs to be like brought up and refreshened, you know?
Yeah.
Can you lower broadcaster volumes and raise video volumes, please? I could probably figure that out, actually. Yeah, I'll play with that a little bit while we're going forward. Let's see how we're feeling. We're feeling pretty good so far. How are you?
Doing good? Yeah.
Good. I'm doing good too.
I was gonna say I could lower the volume on
No.
my own end if you need me to.
No, you guys are like perfectly audio matched together. So try.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I got you pretty good here.
We're in sync.
Yeah, I know how to tool this stuff myself.
We're so in sync we should be dishes.
That's right. All right, let's move on to. Are we ready for Riley, or should we do something before Riley? I feel like we just got started.
We just let's not blow our load too early. We need to.
We don't want to get banned yet.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we still have more to cover. Let's get banned at the end if you don't mind.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Let's try this. Let's try this Josh Feuerstein one. I'm curious if I can get this fucking rabbit to stop freaking out. Oh my god, Jesus fucking Christ! Shut up, Josh. There we go. Okay.
I had forgotten that Josh existed until Jeff brought him back to my attention like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And my day was going so well, and then Jeff reminded me that Josh Feuerstein exists.
We're gonna have to mix it up a little bit too, because we got a whole lot of like religious content, and I that wasn't on purpose. I was looking for something super stellar cringe, alt-right style, but the only thing that I found was something that I'm gonna be touching on Saints tonight. So I was like, oh well. Let's watch Josh. Let's see what Josh has to say. How to stop a man from cheating in 60 seconds.
All right, guys, let me talk to you for a minute, because a new study just came out that said men cheat on their wives because eventually marriage gets boring. Here's the reality. If marriage is boring, it's because you're boring. You know, if the grass looks greener on the other side, it's because you ain't watering your own lawn. I'm going to say that again.
So,
What?
golden showers, yeah?
No.
Yeah, you know, not boring.
Not boring.
That would definitely not be boring.
Yeah. Like, honey, I mean, this may sound weird, but we've kind of lost a lot of the lust and excitement in our lives, so can I piss on your chest? You know? Like, that, I mean, it'd be spicy at least, you know?
It would.
Again, if the grass looks greener on the other side, it's because you ain't watering your own lawn. You got to invest in your marriage. You got to romance your wife. That's why she fell in love with you in the first place. Stop doing the thing that won her over.
Nah. See, I got my wife because I fed her.
What'd you feed her?
That's a joke because she was homeless, but no. Don't kill me, memory. I love you. I did buy her a beer. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Some people want us to watch a Steve Shives video on MythCon. Dude, I can't watch that video again. I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen.
Oh, I haven't watched that video. How long is that video?
20 minutes. You know what? If we get through the Riley one, and we still have a lot of time, maybe we'll take a look at it. It is really bad. Really
Okay.
legitimately bad.
I will say
boring.
I've not. Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
go
gonna
for
say,
it.
I've not been keeping up with all of the MythCon happenings. I know that like a few speakers dropped out because of the presence of a few people, if I understand things correctly. But
That's right.
so I'm kind of scarce on the details.
Well, another part of the reason why I kind of have been avoiding it a little bit is because this has been really weird phenomenon that's been happening on my Twitter lately. And I mean, if you look at my Twitter is cancer. I'm nothing like I am on YouTube as I am on Twitter. On Twitter, I'm a fucking maniac and I just act like an asshole. But the weird thing that's been happening is everybody wants me to talk for Sargon. Like, Sargon's gone now, so they need me to answer for Sargon, and it's really strange. And then every time I say anything that has anything to do with MythCon, like for the next day and a half, I'm going to be flooded with the usual suspects asking me to like explain Sargon to them. Like, what the fuck? I'm not.
I mean,
I wasn't there.
Sargon Sargon is more than capable of speaking for Sargon, and he's not on Twitter. He has a Gab. He has a Minds, I think.
He's on Facebook a lot.
You can contact. Yes, Minds.
Yeah, fucking God. That website sucks.
I'm sorry.
Let me remind you.
I'm sorry, Minds. I don't mean to laugh at you, but
I do.
You are very easy to laugh at. But the point being, you can get in contact with Sargon if you really want to. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's not vanished. He's just not on Twitter. If you want Sargon's opinion, you can go to Sargon and get Sargon's opinion. Mm-hmm. Jeff doesn't have Sargon's opinion.
Go to Facebook and bitch at him there. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. Whatever. Jesus Christ. All right, let's finish this 60 seconds of marriage advice.
In fact, I'm a good Jesus-loving Christian man, but the other night I brought my wife home a box, and I said, "Hey, go put on whatever's in this box." And she opened it up with expectation only to
nothing
find
in it.
Nothing. That's right,
oh! Damn, Josh, what the fuck? He's a player. That's great. I was surprised. It should have been a dick in a box, honestly, though. That would have been better. It'd have to be built into his girdle, though. Never mind. There's physics involved.
You know what I always expect is going to spice up my sex life?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Thank Jesus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus makes everything better.
Yeah.
I'm a good Jesus-loving Christian too, and
I invite Jesus in so he can watch us fuck. I'm just saying.
Is he in the closet wearing a Superman shirt?
Nothing but electrical tape. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have fun like that. You gotta be spontaneous. You gotta love life and love each other. It only gets boring when you get boring. Please take a moment. This might save somebody's marriage. Share the video, like, comment below. Maybe tag some of your married friends in it. God bless. Have a beautiful day.
You know, I gotta say, out of all the Josh Feuerstein videos, this wasn't actually that bad. It was pretty good advice, I suppose.
I think it's pretty funny. He said, "Tag your married friends in this." Like, do you think those people are gonna cheat?
Oh, I know. And public tags are public. So, like, what happens if you're browsing around and all of a sudden you see, like, your uncle gets tagged in this video? Like, do you message him like, "Uncle Dave, is everything okay?"
Are you cheating with Aunt Linda?
Yeah, Linda just wants to piss on me and things are getting weird. I don't know, man. It's strange. Fuck. What this shit. But you know, what's so depressing about this is this 60-second video has 435,000 views.
How? I don't understand.
Dude, the metrics and how videos work on Facebook is so different than YouTube. It's absolutely insane.
I don't even understand how YouTube metrics work. I'm not even gonna fathom how Facebook works.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking weird, man. All of it is just ridiculous. But yeah, no, that's good old Josh. I'm glad Josh is back. Jeff literally invites Jesus inside of him. Yes, I do. I mean, it's not hard. He's not that hung.
Oh.
What? Okay.
You could do better.
Yeah. I don't know.
What about Muhammad? Is he more hung than Jesus?
Muhammad's about the same, but you know, he's got to shave if he wants to get with me. I'm just saying, I don't like beastly men, except for Bunty. I like Bunty. Bunty's pretty hot, but yeah, Muhammad needs to shave. Otherwise, I'm just not into it. Sorry.
I always love those Twitter videos of Bunty where he's balancing his phone on his cock and showing like a naked view up towards his face. I really enjoy those every time he does it, and he does it more frequently than I would like.
Yes, he I love that man so much. He's fucking ridiculous. Let's see. I kind of want to read this article, the Onion article that you know which one I'm talking about, Saelon.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stream is too straight right now. I think we need to gay it up a little bit. So,
hold on before you do. Someone wants in on this. Maybe. Do you have room for Moose?
yeah, Moose. Yeah, dude, get Moose in here. Send him the my circle and the rabbit links too with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm on my way.
Okay.
And you can get started with the next one, I think, while I'm talking to him.
In the meantime, this is my favorite Onion article of all fucking time, and I wanted to read it for you guys because a lot of people have never seen this because it is so fucking old. This came out October 28th, 1998, almost 19 years, close to 2 decades old of an Onion article, and I was 16 at the time that I read this, and I fucking loved it. I did the best that I could of sharing this everywhere, which means I showed everybody who was in the apartment at the time, because I mean, what was I going to do? Use Friendster or some shit like that? Anyway,
Clicksters, hello.
Clicksters,
Oh,
excuse
God.
me. So the name of this article is "Why Do All These Homosexuals Keep Sucking My Cock?" It's a commentary article from The Onion. It's by Bruce Heffernan. Look, I'm not a hateful person or anything. I believe we should all live and let live. But lately, I've been having a real problem with these homosexuals. You see, just about everywhere I go these days, I'm trying to read this a little bit like Dusty, one of them approaches me and starts sucking my cock. Take last Sunday, for instance, when I casually struck up a conversation with this guy in the health club locker room. Nothing fruity, just a couple of fellas talk about their workout routines while enjoying a nice hot shower. The guy looked like a real man's man, too. Big biceps, meaty thighs, thick neck. He didn't seem the least bit gay. At least not until he started sucking my cock, that is. Where does this queer get the nerve to suck my cock? Did I look gay to him? Was I wearing a pink feather boa without realizing it? I don't recall the phrase, suck my cock, entering the conversation, and I don't have a sign around my neck that reads, please you homosexuals, suck my cock. Now, I've got nothing against homosexuals, let them be free to do their gay thing in peace, I say, but when they start sucking my cock, then I've got a real problem. Then there was this time I was hiking through the woods and came across a rugged-looking, blonde-haired man in his early 30s. He seemed straight enough to me while we were bathing in that mountain stream, but before you know it, he's sucking my cock. What is with these homos? Can't they control their sexual urges? Aren't there enough gay cocks out there for them to suck on without them having to target normal people like me? Believe me, I have no interest in getting my cock sucked by some queer. But try telling that to the guy at the beach club, or the one at the video store, or the one who catered my wedding, or any of the countless other homos who have come on to me recently. All of them sucked my cock, and there was nothing I could do to stop them. I tell you, when a homosexual is sucking your cock, a lot of strange thoughts go through your head. How the hell did this happen? Where did this fairy ever get the idea that I was gay? And where did he get those fantastic boots? It screws in your head another time. Oh, hang on. We got a ways to go. Here. Gotta maintain my masculinity by very carefully and delicately drinking this wine. It screws with your head at other times, too. Every time a man passes me on the street, I'm afraid he's gonna grab me and drag me off to some bathroom to suck my cock. I've even started to visualize these repulsive cocksucking episodes during the healthy heterosexual marital relations I enjoy with my wife. Even some that haven't even actually happened yet. Like the sweaty post-game locker room tryst with the Vancouver Canucks forward Mike Messier that I can't seem to stop thinking about. Things could be worse, I suppose. It could be women trying to suck my cock, which would be adultery. That would make me feel tremendously guilty. As it is, I'm just angry and sickened. But believe me, that's enough. I don't know what makes these homosexuals mistake me for a guy who wants his cock sucked, and frankly, I don't want to know. I just wish there was some way to get them to stop. I've tried all sorts of things to get them to stop, but it's always been to no avail. A few months back, I started wearing an intimidating-looking black leather thong with medicine metal studs in the hopes that it would frighten these faggots off, but it didn't work. In fact, it only seemed to encourage them. Then I really started getting rough, slapping them around whenever they were sucking my cock, but that failed too. Even pulled out of their mouths just before ejaculation, shooting sperm all over their face, neck, chest, and hair seemed to have no effect. What do I have to do to get the message across to these swishes? I swear if these homosexuals don't take a hint and quit sucking my cock all the time, I'm gonna have to resort to drastic measures. Like maybe pinning them down to the cement floor of the loading dock with my powerful forearms and working my cock all the way up their butts so they understand loud and clear just how much I disapprove their unwelcome advances. I mean, it can't get much more direct than that.
Is this the gay agenda I've been hearing so much about? That they've been going around the country corrupting poor innocent straight men?
That's right. This is pure evidence of the gay agenda has been around for at least 19 years.
This is what happens when you put too much fluorine in the water.
Yeah. What's up, Moose? Welcome to the stream.
How you doing, guys?
Oh my god. This is my favorite article. It's so good. And like late 90s the Onion articles are pretty great. There was another one by, I think his name is Herbert P. Cornfed, who was with Accounts Receiving, and he was like a hardcore gangsta thug. And it was like this Napoleon Dynamite looking dude talking about how he's gonna stab Becky in processing with a stapler. It's good shit. It's really good shit. But yeah, no, fun stuff. Well, now that we've gotten our diversity quota in, we're fully embraced in the homosexual agenda. I think I don't know.
Moose has joined. No,
I mean, he's not wrong.
Right.
We've hit our quota for gays.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I mean, shit. We're all a little gay in here, at least.
We're all at least a little gay.
Yeah. I mean, together we make at least like 1.55 gay dudes, I think. Probably.
I'd say that's pretty accurate, if I'm honest.
Oh, wait,
well,
no.
I'm the full one.
Yeah,
well,
no.
That's
yeah,
right.
That's right. Ceylon's gay. Okay, so we're like 2.5 gay men.
2.5.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot all about
I would
that.
not watch that sitcom.
2.5 gay dudes. Ooh, that'd be weird. That would be weird. One of them was tragically cut in half in a train accident. Anyway, so that's dark. Let's.
You took this sitcom in a strange direction, and I don't know. I don't know whether or not that would
It's
be
a dark
marketable.
episode.
That sitcom is going to be advertiser unfriendly.
It probably will. This whole stream is going to be advertiser unfriendly. I mean, I was telling these guys earlier, Moose, you remember how I got that strike for watching a Riley Dennis video on a stream?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we're about to watch a Riley Dennis video on a stream.
I mean, what are lessons for? Definitely not to be learned.
That's right. That's right. Definition of insanity. Let's do it. This is called... None of us have seen this one. Maybe it's not nearly as bad. You know, maybe this is the one where Riley makes a good statement and it's not really, really lame. Yeah, right. So it's called What is a Non-Binary Gender? Let's check it out.
Okay, so you've never heard of a non-binary gender before, and out of nowhere, someone tells you that they're non-binary. What exactly does that mean? And is it even a real thing? Yeah, yes it is. Sorry, that was a really bad cliffhanger. Non-binary genders are real.
Oh, Jesus.
Comedy.
Was it though? That was just an end of a sentence, and then you started another sentence.
Okay. Whiskey at 3. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's really hard for Riley to do cliffhangers when he does overlapping jump cuts.
I know.
Like nothing's a cliffhanger. Everything overlaps.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for it to be a cliffhanger, you have to have enough time that you can actually realize that you're hanging over a cliff. Like that's where the whole phrase comes from. This was a cliff. Ooh, I almost tripped, but really I didn't even notice. You know, like what the fuck? Okay. God damn it,
That's
Riley.
something that really pisses me off with Riley is he talks quicker than people can absorb what he has to say, and that slow down and communicate your message clearly. It also makes responding to him a pain in the ass. Because clipping up his videos is the worst experience.
It is very difficult to do. I have to say, like, so Riley, she went in and she got her face feminization surgery, and I think it looks good, but it makes her eyes look smaller than before. And I always thought that was something that I could compliment Riley on, was like big eyes. I like that. But they look tiny. Maybe it's the makeup.
It might be the makeup.
Yeah, you get more eyeliner. Make them pop, Riley.
Cliffhanger. Non-binary genders are real, even though they've only gained public visibility relatively recently. A non-binary gender is essentially a gender that is not strictly woman or man. So to figure out what I mean by that, we have to talk about what gender is. And
oh, yay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
This is fresh content.
Yes, this is new breaking ground territory right here.
Gender is how you feel and identify. Let's say you were born with a penis and
that's not really necessarily. We've been through this before. Like, gender is supposed to be the social aspect of your gender identity, and it's just that splitting hairs is like at the crux of so many of these arguments, like that Riley makes, and that a lot of people like Riley make, and it's very frustrating. It is very, very frustrating. And if you try and argue with them about it, there's no like, well, I understand that's your perception. It's, no, you're wrong because we say so. Like, fuck, dude, come on. It's very
assigned male at birth because of that. Then you grew up and identified as a boy, and then you identified as a man, and you've never had any doubts about that, and you're perfectly okay identifying like that.
That's very assuming.
But you shouldn't be. But you shouldn't be. If you're a man, you have made mistakes somewhere along the line.
Obviously.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Make you a cisgender man, and vice versa for cisgender women. Now, you've probably heard of the term transgender before. So a transgender person is someone who doesn't identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. So, for instance, if you were born with a penis and assigned male at birth because of that, but later grew up and felt that you identified more strongly with being a girl or a woman, that would make you a trans woman. That narrative you're probably a little more comfortable with. Now let's just change one small detail to explain non-binary genders.
One small detail. Okay. All right.
Well, and I wouldn't necessarily say that that's an entirely accurate way of describing a transgendered person, because in saying, well, I was born with a penis but I feel more like a female, I would make the assertion that you're not necessarily a transgendered woman until you've made a transition over to the other side.
Yeah, well, the thing is, too, it depends on, like, the era that you're talking about, because when I was, shit, this is probably, like, 2000, 2001, all the way up until about 2004, I was very involved in, like, the gay transgender community in Portland, and how we always used it, the terms that we were using at the time, was transgenderism was just basically the feeling that you were in the wrong body, or that you developed the wrong way. And then we use specifically the words transsexual to determine the level by which they had done their transition. A transsexual that was pre-op meant that they had not had gender reassignment surgery, and post-op was that they had. But you would not be considered a transsexual unless you were actually making the attempt to live as the other gender. If you were just transgender, didn't really fucking mean anything. It was like, oh, well, you feel that way. Well, everybody feels weird, so okay.
That's fair.
But that's how we and the people that were involved in that community in Portland at that time, that's how we used it. These days, I don't really fucking know anybody who could clearly decide which of these definitions of transgender is like the absolutist perfect one. It's always so argued all the time, even between these guys.
There is no universally agreed upon definition for basically like any terms. Like that's kind of the nature of language, is that these terms are subjective,
right?
And the definition of words vary depending on whose internal dictionary you are referencing, because we all have our own ways of defining these words. But so long as the people in the conversation are working from at least a semi-similar understanding of the concept, a communication can be had.
Right.
Riley is not doing that.
Right.
Like Riley's definitions, like their gender, are fluid, and it's
and
really
ambiguous.
really hard to keep up with.
So there's a discussion going on in the chat right now where they're talking about Riley's pronouns, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Prior to what I saw was a convincing commitment to the transition, I did use male pronouns with Riley because, I mean, how do you know if that's where they're moving towards in life? Can you be sure? How much can you trust somebody that you just see on the internet? And I have a lot of trans friends, and I had very strong feelings about it. Now that Riley has gone through and is obviously really transitioning, I'll use female pronouns because it means nothing to me. It means nothing to me to not or to do. Like, it doesn't matter. It just makes sense to me, so that's why I'll use them. If people out there still want to use male pronouns, like, that's your choice. I'm not going to say, well, you need to do. I'm not your fucking dad. Do whatever you want. But that's my reasoning. That's my headspace on it. That's what my headmates tell me. All right, let's do this.
Let's say you were born with a penis and assigned a male at birth, but when you grew up, you didn't identify with being a man or a woman. Neither identity felt quite right for you. That would make you a non-binary person. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that that's not possible because men have penises and women have vaginas.
No, I think that a lot of people end up feeling that way all the time. I mean, okay, so we got 4 people in this conversation. I did not always feel like I belonged and I was a good definition of a man. I really didn't. There were periods when I was developing where that was in question. Like, I don't know about you guys, but
a little bit of backstory. I live in the Deep South. I've grown up in the Deep South, and I grew up not really knowing what gay was.
Sure.
And like before I knew for sure, I didn't really know. I thought I was just like, oh, everyone feels like this. It's not weird. Yeah. But then, like, I don't know. Before, like, I really knew, I felt like maybe I shouldn't have been born a man or something, you know?
Right.
But, like, you know, after I really just found out everything, like, I mean, I feel okay now. I don't want to be a woman. But, like, growing up, it was, I don't know, it was just a really weird experience.
I bet. Especially being in a place that's not really like, gay's okay, and you're like, fuck, I'm gay. Yeah. Uh-oh. Or, you know, yeah, that would be a singularly confusing instance. I think a lot more people would probably agree that, like, those feelings of non-binary are really natural, and a lot of people have them. It just depends on if they go away, or if you find ways to deal with it, or you just develop into whoever it is that you develop into. But Riley is assigning this to, like, I don't know, some special status, and it's very strange.
In terms of, on the topic of identifying with your gender, I don't know that I've ever even really, like, thought of it in that way. I observe that I am the sex male, and anything that goes along with that is me being a man. Like, the distinction between sex and gender, it's there, but they are invariably intertwined as far as I'm concerned. And like anything that went along with my behavior or as such like that, I never questioned whether or not I was male. This is the way I've been.
Sure.
And I don't know. It doesn't seem as though I don't know. What are the words I'm trying to say? Someone give me the words to say.
Don't have a heating gaming moment. It's all right. We're good.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, let's keep going.
Saving that until the end.
Saving that until the end. Yeah.
Yeah. We need to get through the rest of the stream before we get you banned.
That's right.
Simple. Transgender people exist. There are women who have penises and men who have vaginas. That's pretty mainstream and well accepted by now. LGBT plus rights are widely supported, and that T stands for transgender. So if you can understand that sometimes people don't identify with the gender they were assigned at birth, then I think you can understand that they might also not completely identify with the other major gender. And where that leaves them is identifying as
that's a reach.
No, hang on. And this gets back to words. Like, the thing is, the prefix trans is for transition or for change or for move, and if you're going from one to the other, that does in many ways reinforce, like, trans people by their very definition reinforce the gender binary. They just do. Now, if somebody feels like nothing really seems to click, well, fine, fuck. I mean, I hope it doesn't cause you pain. I hope you find a way to live like a good life and everything like that. But that's just feelings. There's nothing. This isn't tangible. Like I feel like I am LeBron James in the wrong body. You know, does that mean like I need to have like I'm now trans LeBron James or LeBron James sexual or some shit? Like, no, I don't actually. That was just the first thing that popped in my head.
Fair enough.
That'd be a better one. Billy D. I'd rather be Billy D. Williams. Yeah.
As far as non-binary goes, something that is often brought up in these discussions is if gender is what you feel, and you can feel an infinite number of ways, that there are an infinite number of genders. And
right.
I think there's a conflation happening between gender identity and just your personality.
Right.
Yeah, you are an individual, and the way you think is distinct from the way everyone else thinks. But that doesn't mean that you're not the same gender as so many other people. You have defined gender in a way that there are this infinite number of options, but I don't think that's a useful definition of gender. That's not pragmatic. That's not something that can be useful in like a conversation. If there are infinite genders, what good does that do as a language tool? All right, you are Riley Dennis gender.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Why does that need to be a gender though?
Yeah, and that basically comes down to the crux of why these types of videos get made, is because this is not really about how people feel. This is about politics, and because they want to basically use this arbitrary, this is how I feel and this is who I am, so this is my identity. So they want to find a way that this is going to be enacted politically, and that's what I find so shitty about it, because it really none of this really cares about people. Maybe Riley thinks that she cares about people, but that's fooling yourself. This is about politics, and it's fucking annoying. It's really irritating. I guess they want protected status for non-binary people, but if there are an infinite number of genders, then that means that everybody should have the same protected status. I mean, does that, unless you arbitrarily have to refer to yourself as no longer just a person, but now a cis person, so you will arbitrarily like devalue yourself away from a protected status? This doesn't make any fucking sense. It's so weird.
It's really bizarre, and it's by design intentionally divisive, because all it does is continually and perpetually categorize things into different things, which causes separation in their divine effort to try to get this sense of community within all of these different kind of ambiguous non-binary genders. It's very strange.
It is very strange.
And it's against its own point, and it's extremely frustrating.
It is very frustrating. Like if somebody's non-binary, man, I don't give a shit. That's fine. Be non-binary. But if you then say I'm non-binary, so because of this that has no real conceptual background behind it, I want to influence politics in the manner of non-binary, well, then I have a problem. But like if you just want to call yourself non-binary, I don't give a fuck what you call yourself. I mean, I call myself all sorts of weird shit. It's fine. It's cool.
And
you.
99.9% of the people are exactly the same way. We don't stop. I mean, and the result is how many times has Riley Dennis made this video?
Oh fuck!
How many times have other people of her ilk made this video? It's just. and every time they feel like they're making a new spin on this, and they're trying to re-explain themselves, and the problem is you can't explain that in which is ambiguous and has no quantifiable metric to it.
Right. And like if the message behind what Riley Dennis does was to try and get people to be more chill with the idea of non-binary, that would be cool. But then Riley Dennis does some like abhorrently stupid, ignorant shit, and it does not paint it in any good light either. It poisons the very message that she wants to promote. It's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating, because I don't want anybody feeling like shit because of how they feel. Yeah, fuck that. That's weird. But
oh, go on, sorry.
I was just gonna say Riley's a bad spokesperson for it. A really bad spokesperson for it.
Riley is a bad spokesperson for it, and part of that also goes along with the fact that Riley is implying that there is an obligation on everyone else's part to make these accommodations. Like, the beginning of this video was, there are non-binary genders, I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Dissent is not well received in this regard. And, like, basically, Riley's trying to browbeat everyone with guilt so that Riley can get their way.
I guess. I mean, it feels that way a lot of times too. There's a guy in the chat who's been like yelling at me because I smoke cigarettes. Like, don't you care about what you put into your body? Man, if you had any idea the types of shit that I've put into my body.
He was putting Jesus into his body earlier.
I was putting Jesus into my body before. Oh yeah, I tell you what, it's amazing that I ever get sick because my entire biosphere is just this fetid, nasty, messed up, toxic swamp. Like, you don't even know, dude. This
Simply the blood alcohol content alone is enough to it baffles my mind that he can catch a sickness.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. The only reason why I'm still alive is because I eat nothing but really spicy fucking food.
Yeah.
All right.
Some sort of third option, a non-binary gender. Every major LGBT plus organization in the US recognizes that non-binary genders exist. They're slowly gaining visibility and acceptance. They've been around for thousands of years in various cultures, and what you're seeing today is just people finding the language to describe how they feel. I'm not going to try and convince you that non-binary genders are real in this video, because I think that if you really don't want to believe it, you won't. But I will ask you to be open-minded and understanding and compassionate for experiences that are unlike your own.
And I don't think that's a hard thing to ask for. I really don't. But wait for it.
Everyone experiences the world in the same way that you do, and you have to recognize that. As non-binary genders gradually gain public acceptance, recognizing that they exist will put you on the right side of history in the long run.
There we go. There we go. That's where it is. That's where it is. See, that's the problem, Riley. That's the problem. Like, your statement, I'd like you to be accepting of the fact that people have different experiences, and they have different priorities, and they feel differently than you, and that non-binary people can exist. That's not an unreasonable request. It's really not. But then you have to say things like, the right side of history.
Don't go down as Hitler.
You know who
Be on
thought
the right side.
You know who thought there were only two genders? Hitler.
Yeah, right? Right? Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god.
That being said, let's get into some more detailed aspects of it. For one, many people consider non-binary people to fall under the trans umbrella. That's because trans means not identifying with the gender you were assigned at birth. And non-binary people certainly don't identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. So many people identify
We're not
as trans.
assigned a gender at birth. You had a sex that was observed at birth.
Right. The whole gender assigned at birth thing is really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. And like I have it's not something I'm going to go into right now, but I have a unique perspective on this as well. It's just there's this assignment thing is painted like there's the Office of Standards and Practices sent down a representative to observe the baby's genitals at birth, so we can say, yes, this one will be a boy. Like, what the fuck?
She's stroking his giant mustache and carrying his money bags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This one will be male.
I like the cut of the jib. This one will be a sassy young female. Dude, fuck.
And non-binary. Another thing to note is that many non-binary folks use they-them pronouns instead of he, him, or she, her. This might be confusing at first, using they-them for a single person, but you'll get used to it pretty quickly. There's actually a lot of historical...
But...
It's not that big of a deal. There are people out there who are just going to be that dickhead who decide that, you know, they, them is unacceptable, but it's a core part of the English language. It's not a difficult... 9 times out of 10, unless you're talking about a specific individual, you're going to use ambiguous pronouns like they, them anyways.
Right. Right. It's only when you're actually referring in the direct, when they're not there, it's a her or him or his or whatever. It's so fucking frustrating. And the they and them thing, too. A lot of this comes down to respect. They and them isn't really that difficult, but it is still, it's obnoxious. It's a little obnoxious, but if you care about somebody and they're like, use they, them, you know, whatever, it's fine. But the ones that bother me are the ones that are like zir. You know,
Yeah.
like my pronouns are zir. Now, when you want somebody to act outside of a behavior that is ingrained in them by society, not by anything else, but by society, you're asking them to show you the respect of doing something specific for them. Now, if somebody came to me and I didn't know them from Adam, and they were like, my pronouns are Z, Zim, Zim, or whatever the fuck it is, I would not feel like that is a respectful request. I don't know this person. I have no emotional investment in this person. I have nothing to do with this person whatsoever. They want me, upon this very brief encounter, to specifically try and go against something that I never have to think about with another fucking human being, but now I have to think about it specifically with them. Why? And why is it...
Did you say them?
Yeah, I know. Thank you. God damn it.
And
There goes
that,
the monetization.
Demonetized!
and having these hyper-specific pronouns specific to, like, the individual, it defeats the purpose of a pronoun.
Yeah.
Like, the purpose of a pronoun is so you don't need to be that specific. And why would you not just refer to them by name then? Your pronouns are just your second set of names.
Right.
Why?
It shouldn't even be that important. I mean, if that's the thing that keeps you up at night, God, dude, get a hobby or something. I don't know.
Precedent for the singular they. And in fact, many of us already use it to refer to singular people when we don't yet know their gender. I promise you, with a little bit of effort, referring to a non-binary person as they, them is totally possible. But not all non-binary people use they, them pronouns. Some use he, him, or she, her for a variety of reasons. One of those reasons might be that they identify as both a man and non-binary, or as a woman and non-binary.
How does that work?
Yeah.
How is that supposed to work? How? That doesn't make sense in language. It doesn't make any...
I am neither a man or a woman, but I am also a man who is neither a man or a woman.
Jeff, you need to be more open-minded and accepting of people with perspectives different from your own.
Oh. I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm.
For instance, I'm a woman and I'm non-binary, because I feel like on the gender spectrum, mine lands somewhere in between gender neutral and super feminine, so I identify with both terms.
Super feminine.
Good.
Super feminine.
Yeah, I don't identify as either, but also super feminine.
I mean, as an extension of that, what about, okay, let's play into the verbiage here. It's a standard binary female who is just more feminine than another binary female. Does that deserve a distinguishment? At what point are we going to just divulge into these infinitesimal microcosms of gender? It's just...
I'm female plus.
The same can happen for non-binary trans men. Also, non-binary itself is both a label and an umbrella term. Many people identify as a more specific gender under the non-binary umbrella, like genderqueer,
No.
gender non-conforming,
No.
agender, bi,
No.
gender, gray gender, or
No. Gray gender.
many others. If you're unsure what
Look, okay, here's the thing that drives me crazy about this. I honestly don't really give that much of a shit about these weird gender labels and alternative genders and things like that. I honestly really don't care. Most of the time when these types of things come up, I don't care. One of my friends is Ash Mardell. Actually, I guess she just changed her name into something different now. I'm not really sure what. But she is a fucking sweetie pie. She is absolutely fucking wonderful. I got to hang out with her at VidCon, give her a big old fucking hug, met her partner. She's wonderful. I hope I'm using her right pronouns too, because I actually really do respect them both. I like them a lot. And I think they're great people. And they do identify as sexualities and whatnot that are not the norm, like Ash is pansexual, etc., etc., etc. But the thing is, I have never, ever, 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 in any of my interactions with them as people, felt like they were trying to shove any of it in my face. It was just like, yeah, that's just who I am, whatever, I don't give a fuck, cool. And that's cool, that's great, I don't mind. But this bothers me. That's where you fill my dead space.
I don't know. I don't have anything. Keep going.
Pronouns to use for someone, it's always considered polite to ask. And if you slip up and accidentally use the wrong pronouns, just correct yourself. Maybe apologize quickly and move on. If you continue to misgender someone by using the wrong pronouns, you can make them feel really bad, and if you become overly apologetic every time you make a mistake, you could draw more attention to them than they want. And lastly, be careful.
What do you want? What do you want?
Why is the onus on not causing offense solely on the speaker in this regard? Is it not at all the responsibility of the person taking offense to maybe work towards not being offended as much?
Go ahead, yeah.
Because, like, if I don't want people to be offended, I would prefer people not be offended, but that's not my job. I can't work around everyone's nuances and demands and requests in this regard. Would it not be easier and preferable that people handle their own shit?
I think I have a solution to this whole issue. I really do. So, for the people who out there, even if you want to identify as something like non-binary, gray gender, whatever the fuck, if you want to, but you can handle if somebody, like, for instance, just doesn't really adhere to the things that you want them to, or people misgender you, or that sort of thing, but you just brush it off as a normal person would, well then, hey, great, cool, no big deal. But if you're one of the people who is absolutely devastated when somebody misgenders you, I feel like what we need to do is we need to give them a new classification as people, and we need to call them the bumper lanes, right? Okay, so this is what we do. We give them a helmet. The helmet has blinders on. There are headphones built in that play nothing but Diana Ross over and over and over again, and we duct tape big, thick padding around their bodies, so that no matter what, in any way, will they ever have a harmful interaction in their fucking life. They will never hear somebody say something mean to them. They never have to look at anything triggering, and if they bump into somebody, well, they just bumped into your fresh young padding. We need the bumper lanes of society for people that are so fragile that this is something that will bother them. That's my solution.
They definitely find something to complain about.
It's too tight! This is the wrong color. Are you trying to infer your gender on me? I don't know. What the fuck? But they figured it out, I guess.
Terms for non-binary people. Ask them if they prefer sir or ma'am or neither. Don't call them a man or a woman or a dude or a chick unless they say it's okay. There are a lot of gendered things in our language that you might not realize are gendered until you have to think about it. But that's okay. We're finding ways of making it work, and we're finding ways to accommodate everyone's need.
This isn't a need! The thing about this is a need. This isn't a need. You don't need any of this. You don't need this. You need oxygen. You need food, and you need water. You need shelter from the fucking elements. You need human interaction to keep you sane and to help you develop as a person. You need education. You need good familial ties. These are needs. You don't fucking need anyone's respect. I don't need anybody's respect. I like having people's respect, but I don't need it. These are not things that you need. What you need is what you need to function. And if you as a person are so fucking fragile that you need people to bow to your every petty fucking stupid little goddamn whim, then you're a weak human being. You need to find something to toughen you up. Like I don't wish anybody ill will, but this is so fucking dumb.
Needing respect is a dangerous thing to want to need, because for people like me, I don't give out respect freely. Respect gets earned. I don't respect people automatically, and if you need respect from me, you're going to go without, especially if you demand it of me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it to you.
Right. I agree.
So I hope that was a good little explanation of being non-binary. There's a
Not
bunch
really.
more stuff that I could get into, but I wanted to keep this as simple as possible. I'll
For the 15th time, thank you.
link to some other great non-binary folks in the description so you can go learn from them as well. I'll also link to Ash Hardell's book, The ABCs of LGBT, because it has some really insightful stuff to say about non-binary genders. And Ash is actually a really lovely non-binary person themselves.
Yes, she is, but she's also a lot easier to deal with than you are. Ash is a sweetie pie. You have to say things like, the right side of history. And that's one of the main reasons why you get as much flack as you do, Riley. Sorry to say. Oh my god. I can't. Guys, I'm tapping out. I know it's at the end, but I'm tapping out. I can't finish the 21 seconds that's left in this video.
You know, I bet Riley really hates the Spanish language because everything is masculine and feminine.
Oh,
aren't they trying to de-gender it? Like, that's what the whole purpose of Latinx is?
Well, white people are, yeah, but...
He's not wrong, though.
Yeah, dude, it's white people that are trying to do that shit. You think it's some fucking dude sitting there in Mexico City, some dude, some woman, or maybe even a non-binary Mexican is sitting there like, you know what we should do? We should change it to Latinx, man. That way nobody gets confused. What?
Isn't white people trying to change Spanish? That has to be cultural appropriation, right?
I guess so.
that has to be problematic to somebody, right?
It's problematic to me. Shit. Oh my god. I'm shook. I'm shook right now. Oh my god.
The literal shookening.
The shookening. Yeah. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh yeah, fuck. I have a lot of things I got to read real quick. Let me see. Let's bring up, this is on my Chrome. Oh god, it's all fucking weird. Okay. Daka says, you need to let the eldritch old gods into your life. That's very true. Jody Lynn Belbin, first super chat, do you think I should drink what's left of my birthday fireball? For this stream, I think it's going to be a requirement. Daniel Franklin, hey Jeff, just want to send some brotherly love your way. Give Nick my best. I know he's going through some shit. Keep up the great work in Shadowlay. I'm very happy to report Nick is on the up and up. He's feeling great. We're gonna have a great show tonight for the YouTube Saints. It's gonna be amazing. Sergeant Buck, roommate once told me men and women are on a spectrum and Roommate once told me that men and women are on a spectrum and non-binary is off the spectrum entirely. If so, why have the damn spectrum to begin with? That doesn't make any sense. How can men and women be on a spectrum if it's men and women, and then non-binary is off the spectrum? Non-binary should be the actual spectrum in between, I guess, I suppose?
Gender is a three-dimensional spectrum.
Oh.
You have men and woman, and then you have a whole nother axes, the vertical axes for non-binary.
I play 10-dimensional chess with my gender, I don't know, you know.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Gender is a game of chess we always lose.
That's that's right. Nuance is Good says, for $2, say cummies. Yeah, cummies. Yeah, I did. You're welcome. Let's see if there's any StreamLabs. Nope, no StreamLabs. Everybody wants to pay Google. That's fine. It's your choice. I like to give people choices. But not non-binary. No, I'm not even gonna get into that. Let me see. I wanted to see if there was a good Yada one. Ooh. Let's see. Ooh, the power of water. Should we check this out? We haven't looked at Yada in a long time.
We absolutely should.
I've never seen
go
Yada.
for it.
Okay, alright, yeah, let's do this. Let's try and start with something simple. This is called the power of water. If Rabbit will not be a steaming pile of shit.
Peace, family. We have to understand that everything we've been taught about health is a lie. We've been taught to eat more than we drink. Our body consists of 70% to 80% water. And water alone is a very powerful thing where men and women can go days and even months without physical food as long as they put water into our body. There's nothing different between our body and Mother Nature. Because the plant itself is about 70% to 80%
Guy
water.
is so woke.
Water is a powerful thing, very powerful thing, and water also holds memory. We have to get into it.
Oh, fuck off! Fuck off with the water memory shit.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the guy who did the whole water has memory thing? I want to find his name. He's Asian.
Wasn't he the Japanese dude, right?
Yeah.
I know what you're referring to. Oh fuck! I learned about that from Spirit Science, didn't I? Fuck you.
There's also one of them says German scientists discover that water has a memory. That's from TruthTheory.com. Okay.
Do they mean like actual memories?
Like, water almost has, like, emotion. Like, to quickly describe I don't remember his name, but the experiments done by the Asian guy, it was that he would write, like, words on the side of a glass of water or a bottle of water, and then freeze it, and then observe the way in which the ice crystals formed. And when he wrote words like, I love you, I value you, I care about you on the water, then it would freeze in like these nice, sharp, really clear and defined crystals. But when he wrote words like, I hate you, you're scum, I want you to die, then the water froze all fucked up and like ugly looking. And, like,
Okay, so they have memories, and 2, they can understand language.
Yep. English. They understand English.
How do they see the letters? Do they have eyes?
stop asking the how. The how isn't relevant. This is the way this is science.
It's science.
They tapped into the energy field, man. They feel it, bruh. Ugh.
Water feels your emotions.
What are we doing, Yada?
We're going on a journey. Oh, I'm excited.
Look at all that water he's stepping on.
Don't you know that water has feelings?
You're stepping on feelings! Yada, you're stepping on feelings, bro! Oh my god.
Look at all those water drops that just couldn't take it anymore and are jumping off that cliff. They saw Yada coming and was like, I don't want to deal with this world anymore.
The sound of crashing water is actually the sounds of screams as they're plummeting to their death. That's morbid. Oh boy.
But I mean, some of that was like true. Yeah, water's fucking important. You need to drink it. Water is important to live with.
Yep.
But none of that indicates that all we know about human physiology is wrong. Yeah, we know you need water. We know that water is, like, you can go longer without food than you can without water. But that doesn't mean, like, there's this spiritual connection to it. He seems to be implying.
Does this mean when somebody drowns it's because of murderous water?
Oh yeah, the water's holding us down.
Is this why I'm more likely to jerk off in a hot shower than a cold one?
Maybe. Actually, I need to check something. Somebody tweeted me something about maybe something's wrong with my StreamLabs. I'm going to check that real quick. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes StreamLabs gets desynced from... What does that say? Does not have donations enabled. What the fuck? Let me fix that real quick.
Well, that would be why you're not getting any Streamlab donations, Jeff.
Probably be why, yeah.
I think there might be a causal relation here.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Someone in the chat said, is water on the right side of history? Probably not if they have all these feelings.
Yeah.
They've killed a lot of people.
Okay, yeah, no, I fixed the Streamlabs, guys. It should be working now.
Water is gender fluid.
Water is gender fluid.
Oh my god!
Oh, dude!
I think that's the most woke thing I've ever heard.
That's pretty good. The Hydra cost. Wow, that's pretty good too. Holy dick. Let's try it. Let's check another Yada out here. Let's see. What do we got? We got a man that cannot control what he eats will never be able to ... Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Our thoughts feed our body. Which one do you guys want? Or
our thoughts feed our body.
That sounds like some food for thought.
Ooh.
Ah! Hey!
Oh, gross. Okay. Jesus fucking Christ.
We've always been taught about what we should eat.
God damn it.
I wish that was the whole video.
Oh, come on! Oh, you piece of shit. Fucking rabbit. Fucking rabbit. Fucking rabbit. Let's do this. Oh my god. Oh. Ugh. See,
Rabbit, I love you. I make use of you like daily, but what the fuck, man?
Hey,
I know.
be nice to it. It can understand human expression.
it's like water. Okay, you know, I'm gonna go see if he's put any of these up on his YouTube channel. He hasn't used his. He was using his YouTube channel almost daily, and then I made that first video about him, and he just fucking stopped. And I kind of felt bad. I was like, oh, did he stop doing it because of me? Let's see.
Good going, Jeff.
Oh, hey, no, he had one day ago. Marijuana detox tea. Oh boy.
Oh, goody. Yes.
Oh boy. Do we want to try? I think he's just cooking. I'm pretty sure he's just cooking. But here's an interesting one. I'll put it in the my circle. We'll check this out. This should be interesting. We got this one, and then we got that one that you sent me, Sleeper, and I think we'll probably wrap it up then.
Okay.
Okay. So here's Yada saying, feed yourself mentally and spiritually before you feed yourself physically. Okay? Let's do it.
We have to understand who we are. We have to understand who we are. We have to understand that we deal on 3 levels at all times. We have the body.
Right?
The body which gets caught up in the world. That's why in a lot of spiritual scriptures, they say we were born into sin, meaning we're born in the flesh. The flesh is easily tempted. Now,
I would agree with that.
Okay, so far we're on a reasonable track.
you have the spirit, which is pure energy. That only
You
seeks
lost me.
after peace.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I will grant that we are and have bodies. That is fairly well documented, I would say. There is ample evidence for that. I'd also say that our bodies do have energy, and energy does work through us. Would not say it was spiritual, like you maybe to substantiate that point a bit.
I think you're speaking from a lack of melanin.
And the physical and the spiritual are always going at war with each other, but the mind is what brings it balance. The mind is what tries to balance the two. But if you're feeding your body more than you feeding your body will control your mind, and your mind won't control your body.
I don't think that's how mind works.
No, I don't think that's how mind works at all. So the mind is a function of the body. Like, these things are interconnected. Like, the mind is the result of an organ in the body, your brain.
Yep.
Like, and you do literally feed your brain. Like, these are physical processes.
Yeah, you need ATP for your brain to fucking function, dude.
Right. So, the mind and body, you're with me there.
Yeah.
I grant those two things. I grant these premises. People have minds and bodies. Now, you can demonstrate these things to me. Demonstrate the third one. Demonstrate the spirit, if you don't mind. How would you distinguish between a person that had a spirit and did not have a spirit? This should be like a simple thing to just like, here's the spirit. Here's how we know we have the spirit. But declaring that we have a spirit is not a compelling case.
Well, keep in mind, this is the guy that said nothing white ever occurs in nature, so he might think that, I mean, I'm just...
What does that even mean?
Yeah, no, he did say that. Anything that's white in nature doesn't have carbon in it, so that anything white is non-natural.
White people occur in nature!
Carbon deficient. Carbon deficient, yeah.
Then carbon deficiencies occur in nature. What the fuck are you arguing for?
So if you're putting all these idle things into your body, now your body's taking over. Now your mind can't bring balance between the mind, the spirit, and the body. Now the mind cannot bring balance between the spirit and the body.
So the mind is the negotiator between the spirit and the body. I mean, I could kind of see that on a philosophical level. I could kind of see that.
He sounds like he's about to start crying.
He's woke, dude.
Now we're in a state of confusion. Because we want to
Yes,
be happy,
I am very
but we don't know
confused.
how to be
Yes.
only pleased. The body, that's why
You
we
have
must
added to my
feed
confusion. Thank
the
you.
Have you become gender confusion, Sleeper?
I have become spirit confusion.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know if there's a cure for that one.
I'm sure there's a detox cells that can help you out.
Oh, this is his plan.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a
Yeah.
good business plan.
Does he have any melanin supplements I can take? I'm feeling a bit too white, and that doesn't seem natural.
Just do what I do. Just steal it from people like a vampire.
Nice.
I am a melanin vampire.
and the spirit before we feed the body. And when we feed the body, we must know what to feed the body. You are truly pure energy, which makes you the alpha.
What about the fucking body then? You just said that we are the body. The body isn't pure energy. There's matter there. We are not pure energy. What happened to the negotiation that was happening like a minute ago?
He also said our spirit is pure energy, so is he saying our body and spirit is the same? Right
Then
now?
why have you distinguished between these?
I don't know. Why does it need a
What the
negotiation?
fuck is happening?
Hey, so Moose, somebody said that you have a deep voice, kind of like Brett Keane. Will you say, Dorn, get the mashed potatoes?
Born, get the mashed potatoes.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Why did you go Canadian at the end? Get the
I don't
mashed
know.
potatoes.
That's what I like.
Or
Dorn, make me some mac and
Dorn.
cheese.
Dorn, make me some mac and cheese.
Oh my god, that's great! Holy shit! Oh my god, I gotta introduce you to Ben so we can get you to do some voiceover work. That'd be
All
fucking
right.
awesome, dude.
That'd be great.
Yeah, dude.
The beginning and the end. And why do I say that? Because energy is neither created nor destroyed. So you have to
Energy's
understand
not
who you
created.
truly are. That's why you must eat living things. And when I say living things, I'm talking about fruits and vegetables. Why? Because they are electric and you are pure energy.
Wait, so can you eat like, I don't know, a live animal? Is that okay?
can I
No, he's a
Can I
he's
hook-
a vegetarian.
can I hook up a feeding tube to a power outlet and just suck the energy down? Is that energy?
You need them electric vegetables, man.
Listen.
I almost get what he's saying if he wants to say that matter and energy can be converted between one another, and but there's still a difference between matter and energy. We are not just pure energy.
I always hook up jumper
It's
cables.
scientifically fluid. You just need to open your mind a little bit.
I'm science fluid. I always hook up a car battery to my pizza rolls. That way I get energized.
So it feeds you, it recharges you. Please understand that there's nothing on this planet more
Please.
amazing than you. Please understand there's nothing on this planet more greater than you. Please understand who you are.
My name is Jeff. Sorry.
Wait, there's nothing on the
Please.
planet greater than me, but there are other people on the planet. Am I just the best person? Because I thought that, and now I'm glad I'm getting confirmed
gonna-
by this.
Thanks,
I'm
Yada.
gonna start eating batteries.
None of you shits are greater than me.
I'm popping them double A's like Pez, bitch. Oh my god.
Understand who you are, and please step into your higher self so you can manifest your thoughts. A fool and a wise man both dream. But a wise man or woman can manifest their thoughts.
Manifest thoughts.
We must understand.
All right. How? In what way can you manifest thoughts? Is this some The Secret bullshit?
Anna
Looks like
Kendrick.
you're the fool.
Anna Kendrick naked on my lap. Anna Kendrick naked on my lap. Damn it! Nothing.
I guess you're not a wise man, Jeff.
I guess. Yeah, son of a bitch.
Understand what to feed ourselves. Not just physically, but also mentally. We must surround ourselves around the right types of people because we feed off their energy.
Do we need to eat?
So we need to eat people?
But he said we feed off of their energy, but we also need to get energy from fruits. Can we just do one? Like, can we just be by people and never have to eat?
Why is he a vegetarian? Why isn't he a breatharian and just absorb all the nutrients he needs from his relationships with other people? Like, surely he would save so much on groceries if that were the case.
Psychic woke vampire, man. Psychic woke vampire. That's where it's at.
Surround ourselves around the right type of people because we feed off their information. Our job, while we're in this physical vessel, is to rise to a higher level of consciousness.
Oh, it's time to become ascended.
Yeah. Yada smokes the DMT. The DMT. Yeah, dude. I need some DMT.
I'm just gonna... God, fuck. Just gonna plug a USB into my ear and gather all that information.
Just hook yourself up right into the mainframe.
Gotta download your consciousness, fool. Shit.
But we can't do that because we're so trapped. We're so lost. We're allowing our flesh to move us. I want to be in
That's
love.
literally what the flesh is supposed to do. Is it moves.
Yep. It's kind of designed that way.
What do you need? Sorry.
Your spirit is saying,
this is so good.
Love. Your flesh is saying, I want to be great. Your spirit is saying, you are great. I am great. Your flesh is saying, I want wealth, and I don't care what I have to do to get it.
Is that really what your flesh is saying?
Is that why you sell overpriced fucking detoxes, Yada? Is it because your flesh is telling you to scam people? Oh my god. Jesus Christ. This dude's like fucking 5'3" or something like that too. I think his flesh is telling him get money, it's the only way you're gonna get laid.
Wow, I'm actually taller.
You know why he's 5'3"? Because he gets all his fucking nutrients from like the spirit world.
Oh yeah.
He needs to eat a fucking burger or something.
He shrank. You know, gotta get a steak in you, man.
You are wealthy. Now the mind is trying to balance the two. But the mind is now in a state of chaos that now you're confused. You don't know what you should do or how you should do anything. Grow, family. Fall in love with self and truly understand how great you are, because there's nothing on this planet more powerful than you. You already know who it is, your brother, teacher, and God. Yada. You know what I mean?
Two main points. One, nuclear fission reactors are quite a bit more powerful than the human being. And second of all, your mind is in a state of disarray because you're fucking crazy. Yeah, he's pretty nuts. I asked him to debate me back in the day. Back when I still thought debating was going to be fun, because they're not. And so, but his response to me, I'll never forget it. He said, "A king does not debate with a peasant." Okay, Mr. Important.
Well, but you know, for all of his bullshit, like that was a pretty good burn. I gotta give it to him. That was a pretty good burn.
You should have responded, "I know, but I'm willing to stoop to your level for you."
Oh, I wasn't that clever yet.
Oh.
I was still coming out of the brain fog of copious amounts of drug abuse, so you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Yep. Never mind.
He's speaking the yada nonsense.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, hang on. I'm sorry.
Yada.
Yeah. Okay. Let me
His name just opens himself up to so much comedic potential.
It really does. It really, really honestly does. Let me check on the super chat. Oh my god. Every time I try and fix this thing, like, live, I fuck it up real quick. There we go.
Today's a series of fuck-ups, one after another.
Dude, it really fucking is for me. It really has been. I had such a fucking stressful day. It's weird. Nuances God. Jeff is a F-A asterisk asterisk O-T, and I want to F asterisk asterisk K him. Oh. Well, I don't really know what that means.
I wonder what he said.
I have no idea.
I'm really confused. This is why censoring is so effective, because when you censor out words, I have no idea what that meant now. That was so effective at obfuscating the meaning.
I think he wants to have sex with me, and you know what?
No.
That's I am perfectly okay with that. Come have sex with me. Ashley Hall says, please start a band named Electric Vegetables. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm already in the Baby Pickles, so maybe Electric Vegetables will be like our spin-off band.
Just stick a socket. Just stick the pickles into an electric socket. There you go.
Oh.
Electric Vegetables.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is an easy transition to make.
I wanted to make a Terry Schiavo joke, but you know, its time has passed. Anyway, so Sergeant Buck, I hear dropping a toaster into your bathtub is a great way to energize your body and soul. I've heard that too, actually. And then now that Streamlabs is working, sorry about that earlier, guys. Reality check. Thanks for fixing that. Now take my money. Gladly, thank you very much. Larry Kobiak, all that shit sounds like breatharianism, not eating at all, which would be the stupidest, funniest scam ever if people hadn't died from that shit. Motherfuckers preaching that eat burgers and steaks. So dumb. Love the stream. Chatelet. Chatelet to you, buddy. Love you. Yeah, that's fun shit. I feel so woke now. So damn woke. Well, we got one more to watch. And this is probably a humdinger because you were sitting on this one for a while, but you've graciously donated it for the cause of the Stream Sleeper, so thank you.
Yeah, so this was one that I was going to make a video on, but I let it fall by the wayside. I found this. This is a video by Levitical. I found it through the Godless Craniums channel, which is a good channel, and I would recommend it if you're into atheisty kind of content.
I like Godless Cranium. He's cool.
Yeah. So this is atheists and their burden of proof.
I always get a kick out of the atheists who always bring up the cliche burden of proof that Christians apparently have on their shoulders. Whenever they bring it up, it's always in such an edgy way. I mean, it goes like this.
Well, you're the one claiming a god exists, so the burden of proof lies on you, not me.
That's... I don't have the fucking window open. I'm a fucking idiot. Here, hang on. Shit.
Oh, did the stream miss that then?
They missed for those who missed it, this guy was pointing and gesturing, burden of proof, and then this is the image he chose for the atheist right there. There we go.
That's what all atheists look like, so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that's what I look like. But I don't see how asking for pointing out that the burden of proof lies on the person making the claim is not edgy. What does he mean by edgy in this context? This is just, yeah, you are the one making the claim. Substantiate your claim.
Yeah,
that's absurd. Get out of here, you little edgelord.
I'm sorry. I mean, he would say that just being an atheist is edgy. So anything we do is being done in an edgy way.
You don't pray to my sky leopard? Pff, edgelord. God.
So the burden of proof lies on you, not me.
What a lazy and ineffective way to challenge someone's beliefs. First of all, you're trying to escape the necessity of doing any thinking yourself.
No, you're trying to escape the necessity of making your own case. It's not lazy to be like, okay, you've given me this claim. It's your job to substantiate it. Like that is how the burden of proof works. I know that he doesn't like the burden of proof because when you have no proof to offer, the burden is too great.
God exists? Well, I don't legally have to, but I'm happy to
No
inform you on
shit,
matters
Sherlock! We're not saying you have a legal obligation to defend your claim. No one was implying that, but presumably, if you're talking with me and you want to have this discussion, you have something worth saying, and if you have something worth saying, then say it in a way that it's defensible.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's very context dependent as well. You know, if I'm talking to a person and they're like, "Hey, God is good," and I'm like, "Cool." That's as far as it goes. But if somebody's like, "Hey, you shouldn't do that because God says this," I'll be like, "Yeah, I don't care." Like it yeah, and then if you come to the point where it's something like, well, because of God's commandment, we need to like change this policy, or we need to like enact this change and make something different happen in your life, that's when it's like, well, now you're gonna have to explain yourself, and you're gonna have to give me a much better reason than just this book says it. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I just
and beyond. Oh, sorry.
No, please.
Beyond this book says it, especially in terms of the Judeo-Christian God, it's not just that he says something. If you want to enact this in policy, in law, demonstrate to me that God has my best interest at heart, because we talked about Job earlier.
Right.
To loop this back around to the first video we talked about, I don't know that I want much to do with what that God wants to reward me.
Now, listen.
Go kill
If you kill your family, he's just gonna give you a refund. So I mean,
he's gonna give you a refund with interest on the family that you murdered.
exactly.
Right, absolutely. And it's a thing that I think about it a lot too, is because I'm not I'm not religious. I'm not really an atheist either. Not really. I'm an apatheist. I just don't care. I don't really care. If there's a God, there's a God. If there's not, there's not. Like, I don't give a shit, and I never think about it. But I always have to think about religion because religion keeps popping up. And I always have these interesting questions that sometimes when I am forced to think about whether there's a God or not, and the question that always keeps coming into my mind is, what if he's an asshole?
I can give you a plethora of examples to prove that he is.
Well, but those are examples from like the Bible, and that would denote that we have to accept that the Bible equals God. But let's say the Bible in and of itself is just as a person creation, but there is still a God. There's no real proof that God's not an asshole, or if he's not an asshole, then he's just not paying attention to some of the things that happen. And, like, these are just as likely as anything else. Like, if a person believes that God is love and God loves them and that sort of thing, that's fine. I don't really care. But when they try and preach to me that God loves you, the first thing that always comes to my mind is, like, how can you tell? Like, I mean, did he say anything to you? You know?
Did he talk to you about me?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with it. Is, does God talk to you about me? Like,
and if he did talk to you, how do you know he wasn't lying to you?
Right, maybe maybe God's catfishing me, you know, like, and so this is the kind of stuff that I think about a lot, and that's another reason why I'm an apatheist, because these questions, like, they're funny to me for a minute, but then I'm just like, whatever, it's fine. You love God. I'm glad you love something. It's fine. Fucking whatever. God. I'm sorry. I just
history and theology. If you don't accept what I have to say, I will move on. But what about you? You make no claims of your own? Come on. If you think the Earth is billions of years old, if you think it's okay to murder babies in the womb, if you think humans are just animals, or if you think that there's no evidence for God's existence, all of those claims require reasoning and evidence on your part.
Okay.
Of which there is an abundance of.
Yeah, so only that last one had anything to do with whether or not there is a God. I do purport the rest of those things to greater or lesser extent. Yeah, I have reason to believe the Earth is billions of years old. I have very well substantiated reasons to believe that. And I can go into them with you if you'd like, but I don't know if that's going to be relevant to the discussion, because so what if the world is billions of years old? I have serious doubts that that's really what your belief in God is contingent on.
Right.
So if you'd like to have that discussion, I suppose we can, but
there's a guy in the chat. Brett Keane is in the chat, and Brett Keane in the chat is making me very happy. He says it's pronounced gourd. Yep, gourd. That's right. You know, if there is a god, it's so funny. If there is a god, I like to think that he's the Futurama god. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, the way, and it's just a testament to how fucking brilliant that fucking show was. That, you know, me, and at the time that I saw it, I was hardcore anti-religion. I was very anti-theist. And I watched that, and it made me stop and be like, you know what? If there's a god and the god is like that, that's okay. I don't mind that. That makes sense. That's okay. I thought that was a very interesting way of doing it. But, yeah, like, fuck, this is so fucking dumb. Prove to me that the Earth isn't 6,000 years old. Okay.
And if there is a god, how do you know it's not the god from the crayon?
The crayon?
Yeah. The crayon.
The crayon.
I don't believe what you believe, so why can't you do any explaining yourself? Don't you want to? This is why I continue to believe.
But I can, though. Like, as if there isn't an entire genre on YouTube of atheists explaining themselves in great depth, especially on matters of, like, the age of the Earth and other scientific claims. Like, it's there. I don't know how you missed it, but there are entire channels of people who have made careers and dedicated themselves to explaining this to you, and you haven't seen it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. My buddy Malcolm... Oh, go ahead, please.
Oh, I was gonna say, he's tied in just the default atheist being like, I don't believe. He's tied in I don't believe in God with I don't have any positions on anything. And we do. Why do you think we don't? How did this come about? This isn't related to the burden of proof of God, of specifically your God.
Right.
Because if you are making the claim, substantiate it. I can make the claim that the Earth is billions of years old, and if you'd like, I'll substantiate that for you.
My buddy Malcolm from the North says, if there is a god, he's probably like, these niggas think I wrote a book full of rules? Pfft, I did this shit for funsies. Damn right, dude. It's fucking good. I love this pause game for this is what an atheist looks like.
That atheists only exist as a product of a lack of knowledge about God and his true church, not because they learned anything significant that turned them into atheists. It's what they didn't learn. And there's nothing to learn about atheism. There's no dogmas, there's no rules, nothing. And when you try to...
That's why it's good.
Right, that's all true, but, like, lots of atheists also have had extensive religious backgrounds. Like, I've learned a lot about the way in which various forms of theism operate.
Right.
That face when I literally went to a Bible college because that's how indoctrinated into the religion I was, and spent a year there, and still am able to come to the conclusion with extensive knowledge of the Bible that I no longer want to be a follower of that religion.
Yeah. Yep. I got halfway through my catechism, and I just was like, I really don't have anything to prove to anyone. If I need to prove... That's what happened to me was I was very religious. I was raised very religious, so much so that when I got the X-Files soundtrack from the X-Files movie back in the day. And the last track was Rob Zombie. It was White Zombie at the time. And it was like this fucking super satanic sounding song. And I was so freaked out about it and so religious at the time. I pulled it out of my CD player and I broke it. I broke it and I went and I prayed. Seriously. that fucking happened. But then I went and I went to go to the through my catechism. and I got halfway through it, and the things that they were saying to me made no fucking sense. And basically, I realized that I was in a class to prove to God that I was good for Him. And I just sat there. I remember one day, and this is like this was a turning point in my development as a young man. I just sat there and I was like, I don't owe this fucker shit.
Yeah.
I don't fucking owe him anything. Like, I'm a good person. I don't need to do any more than that. I don't need to sit in this boring ass fucking classroom wasting away part of my fucking weekend. This is bullshit. What the fuck? And it was so fucking stupid. And so I didn't leave religion at that point. I just came to the terms of like, if God's out there and God's all powerful, He knows I'm a good person. The only thing I'm proving is to these fucking assholes. So fuck them. I'll just try and be a good person. Then eventually I just stopped giving a shit altogether. You know. I kind of got lucky. I didn't have any of those like weird, indoctrination stories that like fucks everything up.
Challenge most atheists, they throw that pathetic phrase in your face.
You're the one claiming a god exists, so you prove to me and then I'll believe.
I mean, you gotta be pretty darn witless to think that's gonna get you anywhere. Thinking that you have nothing to prove and only to be convinced.
That seems like such a reasonable position to have. I'm not convinced of this thing that you have just asserted. I am willing to believe on the grounds that you can sufficiently demonstrate it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not as reasonable as you could possibly want someone to be? That's just so fair. That's so fair.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you like fair? Does fair not work well for you? I suppose it doesn't.
Right.
I suppose you need to cheat. Fairness
is triggering. It's a byproduct of the white supremacist conspiracy. Sorry, I don't know. That's a different stream. Anyway,
yeah, you took that on an interesting tangent.
Yeah. You try to get certain atheists to explain themselves, and they start whining.
You're shifting the burden of proof.
No.
Are you? Well, are you then?
History. Christians have been providing evidence and reasoning for God's existence for thousands of years, and that is why there's more of us than you.
Yeah, but you suck at it. Because we respond. It's not as if you just keep presenting these, like, rock-solid arguments, and we're just like, no, that's not evidence. No, you present the argument, and then we respond to it. This is the discussion. That's what, like, a huge segment of this area of YouTube is about. Not every atheist response is, well, that's just your burden of proof, and you've not met it. Like, we'll explain, if you haven't met your burden of proof, we will explain to you why what you have presented is insufficient.
Sure.
But it's not as if we just leave it there, like a dead fish. We just plop down, burden of proof, and walk away. We don't do that. We have this argument, and yeah, you can say that you've been presenting evidence for years. We have examined that evidence and found it lacking, and can argue against it, and do so.
Okay, so Dieter's also asking where's the videos link. This is from Levitical, so you'll probably be able to find him by looking at Levitical.
Can I post the link in chat? I can do that right now.
Do I have you as a moderator? If not, I'll fix that when you try and do it.
Yeah. I'm not, but
we'll type something in chat in the stream, and I'll make you a moderator, and then you can do that. But the thing that I always think is really interesting, especially when you get into like Christian debates and that sort of thing, is there's this quintessential problem when it comes to the God debate when you're trying to speak along the lines of actual debate and scientific literacy, which is prove that God is real. Well, you can't. You can't prove God is real, but you also can't disprove that God is real. Now, what is interesting about this on a philosophical level is that because of that, the question of whether God is real or not is a non-question. And what it means is that from a logical standpoint, the question itself is entirely meaningless. If it means something to you as a person who believes in God, then good. I cannot disprove to you that God does not exist. There will always be a way that you can say that he does. So it's not an argument worth having. It's an irrelevancy for anybody in a logical platform. And that's what I always think is really so surprising. And it drives me crazy because far too often you'll have very hardcore creationist, young earth, religious people who want to prove that God exists, but that is not an interesting conversation to me because it's not even something that you can debate. Not really. I mean, you can kind of debate it, but it's never going to go anywhere. It makes no fucking sense. And I find that fascinating. I think the big problem comes when people take God and run with it into further areas, like trying to enact policy or trying to like shame you for your feelings about God. You know, it's weird stuff.
If I were to, do you have more to say?
Oh, somebody just said it's called God of the Gaps. Huh? Interesting.
Yeah. So when you don't have an explanation for something, God fills that lack of an explanation.
Okay.
It happens because of God. That's it.
Right. If I were to nitpick what you said a bit, I would say that whether or not a God exists, or a particular conception of God exists, isn't a non-question. If you tell me that God has certain attributes and that these attributes can be demonstrated,
right,
then we can test whether or not that conception of a God
that's true
exists.
Right.
And I have no bones just saying that.
You are roboting like a motherfucker.
Like, if you were to define...
I hear him fine.
Do you?
Jeff, are you there?
Oh, maybe it's me.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, it is you.
That might be me.
It's in the chat.
Okay, I'm gonna change Discord regions real quick, and I'll see if that fixes
you see,
someone.
You know what? I think it was a brief interruption on my end, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. You sound fine.
Coming?
Yeah, you sound fine now. Yeah.
Okay. So where did I leave off? If you give me a certain conception of a God, with things that I can look at, I can come to a conclusion on whether or not that God exists if you give me descriptions of him that are falsifiable. And in terms of many specific God claims, they are falsifiable. I make no bones about the Christian God not existing. There is no Christian God. That God does not exist if you define him as the one described by the Bible. But then there are the apologetic versions of the Christian God, which are not all the same. And those the apologetic gods are often pushed into the realms of unfalsifiability.
Right.
And I can't know whether or not the unfalsifiable God is real or not, because it's unfalsifiable. But when it's unfalsifiable, that's also when there isn't sufficient reason to believe in it.
Well, you know, maybe there's proof that there's a God because he's obviously pissed at the stream because he just sent us a big disruption.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he heard me talking shit. He said he heard me say I didn't think he was real.
I guess so. Okay, so let's keep going.
We are willing to teach and offer reasons for why we believe. Through the sacraments, daily prayer, religious studies, you can come to understand the nature of God's existence. Like my friend Christopher,
I'm not going to do that until
Mark,
I already believe in your God, though. like, you can't tell me that I will believe in your God after I dedicate myself to him. No, the point is, convince me that I should dedicate myself to him. You've got these steps so backwards.
Mm-hmm.
On YouTube once said in a conversation,
if
I wanted to learn more about chemistry, I wouldn't find a person with a degree in chemistry and start viciously arguing with them. I would find a class on chemistry and study it myself. I would find a professor of chemistry and politely ask him questions so that I can learn more about the subject. And yet, the majority of atheists do not do this. They will lie and say that they've already studied Christianity. And don't
Why laugh track though? I have formal education in forms of Christianity, and I've read multiple apologetics books on the subject. How much more research do I possibly need to do in order to come to this conclusion that you seem to be making the case for is almost self-evident? Like, it seems very not self-evident to me, because I've looked a lot.
What do you here? I have to take a quick piss, but like Moose, you went to a Christian college. Like, illuminate a little bit about that.
Sure. Grew up in a Christian household my whole life. Very active in the church. Basically, was my home away from home. So naturally, the next step, at least from my perspective at the time, was, hey, I've been doing this my whole life, so let's continue on with that. So the next step was, instead of going to a secularist college, was going to a Bible college, and I was a musician, so trying to study to be a worship pastor. So there was one that was sponsored by the church, which is where I ended up going over to. So I had gone from, and admittedly, a pretty healthy church environment, non-denominational, so there wasn't a whole bunch of doctrine there, to one that was very much denominated. It was very Calvinist in its nature. It was a very jarring experience at first, because I had gone from this, they had a healthy approach at the church I'd grown up at, it was more based on the theology than pushing a doctrine, whereas, hey, these were some really cool Bible or stories in the Bible, and you should draw inspiration from these and let these influence how you act throughout your daily lives. And I think it was healthy and for the most part a benefit to those who decided to be a part of the weekly congregation, to a transfer to a college where I was literally told at one point by a professor, while I was trying to argue whether or not gay people would be admitted into the kingdom of heaven, that if I did not write that they would not be in my essay, I would be failed the class. Not just an F on the essay, that I would be thrown out of the class.
Wow, no shit.
Yeah, so him and I didn't get along well.
I'd fucking hope not.
So I ended up flunking that class. That's not where it ended. They were very, very, very big on making sure that we were doing our devotionals, where it was a graded feature. It was actually not even part of a class curriculum. It was a requirement of the college that we were given these devotionals, and we'd have to complete them and be able to express a certain level of comprehension in what we were supposed to be doing. And oftentimes it wasn't based strictly on scripture from the Bible. It was oftentimes, what's the word I'm looking for? Not individual perception, but ultimately a given professor's specific spin on their interpretation of the scripture that we were supposed to be reflecting on. And boy, there were some interesting twists on some ultimately very benign parables throughout the Bible. But not only that, but then going on to experience when professors were teaching, kids my age. I was 19 at the time, and a variety of other ages, that, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah was this tribute to how powerful and righteous God was, and that his treatment of the Corinthians was that they had it coming because they were living, just bathed and washed in sin, and seeing this glorification of this just wrathful and jealous and unfair God. And that was a good thing, that this is why we need to worship him, because this is the true path. This is what's wrong with the world. And then not just that, but because of the size of the Bible college and the culture that it fostered, was also very involved in a lot of the churches, and not small churches. We're talking mega churches with weekly turnouts of tens of thousands of people. And this was the thing that was being taught all around there. It was.
That's insane, man. That's insane.
It was interesting. So I would say that I have a indignant relationship.
Yeah, I would say so.
Tell me you've read the
now
Bible.
I will. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll wrap up. I'm wrapping up. I will always maintain that if you look at it from the just simply philosophical perspective, mostly looking into the New Testament, the parables that Jesus taught, things like that. Sure. I think there's a lot to be learned philosophically. You know, speaking of treat others how you would wish to be treated. You know, don't just immediately retaliate, turn the other cheek. You know, be a better version of yourself. I think there's a lot of value to be found in that. But I think that unfortunately, vastly more often than not, the church is responsible for perverting that into a very destructive theology.
Yeah, I think so too. This guy is about to play I guess he has, I don't know if he's gonna play a clip from Joel Osteen, but he's got Joel Osteen up on the fucking screen, and I fucking hate this piece of shit too. Oh my god.
Heretics read the Bible as well, and what do? They just reinterpret verses to suit their own ends. Please read the Summa Theologica by St. Thomas Aquinas. Read the encyclical letter Fides et Ratio by Pope John Paul II. Read the Catechism, and please do yourself a favor and buy this Bible. It's been a huge help for me, and it's
Archaeological Study Bible.
How do you know that these other extra-biblical sources are not also just believers who have reinterpreted the Bible in ways that suit their narrative?
Right.
This is what you are accusing heretics of doing. So how do you come to the conclusion that what something in the Bible is or is not supposed to be taken literally? How do you know the Bible? How do you know the correct way to interpret what the Bible says? If it is just literal, we can test the literal claims of the Bible and show that it comes up sorely lacking.
It is technically impossible to turn someone into a pillar of salt. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's the Archaeological Bible, which cross-references sources from Scripture with extra-biblical sources. If you're
Did
someone
you
who
find the pillar of salt? Did you find Lot's wife? And it's like, oh, got it. What archaeological sources can you demonstrate can you point to demonstrate any of the supernatural stuff? Because I'm willing to grant that the Bible at least depicts historical events that likely happened. Like, it's a book. Like, it's a book from the past. It's a record of history to an extent. I just don't think the supernatural bits happened. Show me the supernatural bits happened.
I still think it'd be interesting if 2,000 years from now people are reading like fucking Lord of the Rings and think it's a book of faith. That would always be interesting, you know?
That's probably what happened.
Maybe.
To be honest.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, why don't we worship the gods featured in the Epic of Gilgamesh? You know, like just bad press. I don't know. It's weird.
doesn't appreciate the Bible, maybe this version of it will blow your mind a little. It's amazing how
Yeah, I got something for you to blow.
much extra biblical sources confirm what the Bible says happened in history. So anyway, that's pretty much all I've got for this video. Just felt like having a little rant about something that me and my bros were talking about.
Me and my bros!
Me and my bros.
Me and my
many
bros.
How many of the billions of Christians that he cited, that Christians, like, this is why we are the most dominant religious, like, populace on earth, is because we have these good arguments.
Right.
How many of those religious people have read these extra biblical sources that you are touting? Like, if I do not have the resources sufficient to disbelieve in your claims, surely all of those other Christians don't have sufficient reason to believe what they believe.
Right.
Is that a problem to you? Because you didn't make a video on them that I'm aware. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't watch his channel.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that was not what was addressed. It's only a problem. Intellectual laziness is only a problem when people come to the conclusions that you don't like.
I agree.
You agree with Levitical?
No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you.
Okay,
I swear to God. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. No, I'm overwhelmed by like this is absolutely turned into like the atheist stream. I don't know. Just happened that way. I don't know.
It kind of just turned out this way.
It did, you know. Sometimes magic just happens.
Sometimes you gotta let your edgy atheist out.
Yeah, Daga says
the genre's going stale.
Somebody was asking why is there so much more atheist stuff going on YouTube these days. I think it's because the anti-SJW stuff is kind of old and tired a little bit. I mean, there's still some stupid shit that happens. Obviously, Riley Dennis says some ignorant shit. Steve Shives is always going to be awful and that sort of thing. But we've done it to fucking death. And every now and then, it's kind of good to go back to your roots and to just kind of like have a little fun at the expense of hardcore asshole Christians. By all means, like if you find some shithead Islamists or some shithead fucking whatevers, send them my way. I would love to do streams and poop on them just as much as anybody else. The true message behind this is that it really doesn't matter what you believe and what kind of faith that you're following. Just don't be a dick. It doesn't matter what kind of beliefs you have about your gender identity or the person that you feel like you are on the inside. Just don't be a dick. It doesn't matter what kind of stupid-ass things that you want to pump inside your body, some sort of magical crystal you shove up your fucking ass, that's fine. Just don't be a dick and try and convince other people to do it too. Just don't be a dick. Just don't be a fucking dick. That's all there is to it.
What if that's what they identify as?
Well, then I know a bunch of hungry mouths that I can direct you towards. That's fine. Look, Daka says, Yada has embraced the Eldritch knowledge. That's true. It's true. He is in touch with Nyarlathotep. I have it on good sources. Got this. Just now I'm going to delete this information now. Nuance is good, says Jeff is a fag poopout who loves cummies. That's true. I am. Real every day. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from meme magic. Shadowlay. That's pretty clever, actually. I like that. It's Riser says, God is an authoritarian anti-freedom asshole. Lol, PS, Super Chat wouldn't let me send no matter what I tried. I don't know, man. Super Chat is, it's a fickle beast, and it steals your money anyway. Fuck Google. Fuck Google. Fuck YouTube. Kiss my ass. Both of them.
Alright, now you're gonna get banned.
Yeah.
If it wasn't anything else through this stream,
that's right.
That's the clincher.
That's the clincher, because I tell them to go fuck themselves. But yeah, so by all means, everybody, go and check out Galactic Bubble Productions, who did the music for the very intro of this. Go check out Anti-Sleeper's channel. Do you want me to get your channel and shout you out, Moose, or are you still not making content?
Nah,
okay.
That's fine.
All right. But yeah, it's been Anti-Sleeper, Saelon, and Moose, 3 really good buddies of mine. I love them to death. Every now and then I drag them in to experience some cringe with me, and I love you guys.
Oh, we love you too.
I love you too.
Oh, jeez.
I love you, baby.
Bunch of fags up in here. bunch of male masculine love. We're all gonna go and ejaculate on each other later. So
we're all gonna do things that God is not going to approve of.
That's right. But we're gonna invite Jesus in so he can watch. Tonight, YouTube Saints. It's gonna be a good fucking time. I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. I hope everyone out there is well. I don't really have any other little nuggets of wisdom or pseudo wisdom that people are like, you're not that smart or intelligent, Jeff, so just shut the fuck up. So instead,
you're not, but that's okay.
That's right. So instead, I'm just gonna play us out. Good night, everybody. Go watch the YouTube Saints. Go subscribe to my friends. I love you very much. Bye bye.